Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to Wickham for the Meon Valley Trail parkrun, an old railway one as you can see here. So yeah, very exciting. It's not a tarmac surface though, but I hope it should be fairly flat. So I've just met my friend Ian Barry Bowers, so I hope to catch up with him afterwards, but see how this one goes today. Somewhere around 20 minutes, hopefully.
Oh, finally I made it to the front.
Hello everybody, the event director just got to the front to set us off on our way. So a bit of a faux pas today with the Insta360. I didn't have any problems actually recording, but I didn't have enough disk space. So yeah, we already got the first 2K, so I thought I'd take you through this one. So it's an on railway here, and it'd been a bit drizzly in the morning, and one of those sort of spring days where you're not quite sure what sort of temperature it will be. It was a bit sort of cloudy and overcast, but the rain unfortunately stopped. It was just a bit drizzly warming up, and as usual I set off with some intent, and now it's, as you can see, the surface is not too bad, but as it had been raining a bit, there was a bit of like softness to it, and it's not the most sort of even of surfaces. So I wore my Nike Vaporfly 1s and thinking, well, I should have tried the Streetfly 2s, but I was a bit nervous that they would really sort of cut them up, and I still haven't really done enough sort of trials for that one. So I thought I'd stick to my tried and trusted shoes. And as usual, I thought I was intending to go for a sub 20 pace as usual. So I set off with some intent, and quite to my surprise, I was well back. I mean, I actually finished the part run, and said race there, in 31st place, although I did get the first M55 place, spoiling that. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of people ahead of me, and that's Mark Lown, I think, who I'll talk to later, in the yellow top there, just overtaking me. And I was thinking, well, at this point, sometimes in parkrun I always think I'm a bit demotivated if I'm well down the field. When I was at Pegwell Bay and came third, I think that really did encourage me. And this one is also a temptation, I think, when everyone starts to flying away from you, to head off too quickly, and I think that kind of what happened here. But you can see the old railway theme as we go under a bridge here. So yeah, it's one I've been looking forward to doing since I haven't said that, I even found out that it was the first one last week. So literally this was the second running of it, and you can see it sort of now opens out into a bit more light, but it's still, yeah, fairly secluded one. It actually does get perhaps a bit more picturesque up towards West Meon when you on a high embankment. You can kind of look down, but certainly Wickham is a good place for it because you've got a nice big car park there. Having said that, it was a bit of contention for car parking spaces. I got there about 8:30 and literally got one of the last car parking spaces in the car park, so I think after that you would have had to find your way somewhere else. So there is a big car park, as I discovered later, on the station road, about sort of less than half a mile away, so it wouldn't have been too bad. But yeah, you can see at this point, yeah, parkrun's not a race, but everyone seems to be flying away from me. I think it was this point in the run I started to feel that I was perhaps not actually feeling as great as I perhaps might have done. I'd done a session on Tuesday, like 5k, 10k pace, and then a really hard 5k session on Thursday where I did 5 by 1k, averaging comfortably under 4-minute pace. So I was quite hopeful that on a tarmac course I'd be somewhere around 19:30. My Garmin's kind of predicting a sub 19 at the moment, which may be slightly optimistic, but that's the best forecasting for a while. So yeah, in that sense it was quite good. But I had this sort of feeling sometimes where I sort of like starting to maybe push through threshold, and there's a little bump there, which I think is quite a famous point for segments on the course. And it was, yeah, it was kind of like that point where I could start to feel sort of like my arms feeling a bit sort of like full of lactic, and my legs feeling a bit lactic, and you're kind of thinking, oh, is this a pace I can maintain? And almost to a certain extent, when you hear the case bit, I'd actually put my watch onto case bits rather than mile splits to see if that would help, because I always think, well, if I go through a sub 20, it'd be nice to sort of see somewhere around 4 minutes each one. And you can see that the case split is about to come up here. It's going to be about 3:56, I think, on the watch. You can hear the little bleep from my Garmin if you listen very, very closely. But yeah, you can see like it's not exactly the most smoothest of surface here, and just being a bit of rain on it. And yeah, you can see 3:56, and at this point I'm thinking, oh, it's starting to feel like it's going ever so slightly uphill. And I think I have run on this one before. I used to do a lot of marathon training on the Meon Valley Trail, usually starting at West Meon and coming back to Wickham and then going back again. So if you did that, it would be literally like a 20-mile, and you can go a bit further on past Wickham to Knoll Junction. You can't actually get out there, but it's like allows you another 2 miles of trail, so you can almost run a full marathon on this trail, starting at West Meon, coming back to Wickham. Then you'd probably have to improvise a few more miles at West Meon. But yeah, so if you wanted a nice off-road sort of firmish surface, I certainly recommend to come and try this one. I actually found James Baker actually after the run, and we had a chat, and he'd been to Whiteley Park Run, and it turns out he's had the second most number of first finishes ever, just behind Ollie Garrett, and he's only not finished first 13 times, and those 13 times he came second. So yeah, quite remarkable running. And I was thinking, well, it's been a long time since I've even had a first finish. I think my last first finish was back in 2019. So yeah, maybe I'll get another one day, but at the moment I'm kind of happy to get first in my age group. So yeah, you can see it starts to get a bit more spread out now. I'm actually now a bit of a gap, aren't I? So let's push this on until I actually catch up with somebody. I'm coming on towards my mile split here, which I get in 6:24, and this lad in the blue top with the orange shorts, I think I actually get past him, and then he overtook me in the final sprint, which unfortunately I didn't get on camera. But you can see the old railway theme here as we go under another bridge. I'll try and work out which one that is and put like a link up there. But yeah, I'm approaching now the turn at 2.5k, but this bit seems to be a bit of a slog. It just seems ever so slightly uphill, and I don't think the 6% on the graphic there is quite right, but you can see it's rising ever so slightly, and I think I'm finally going to get past this guy in the blue top, although I'm sort of struggling to do so. He looks like dead on his feet, didn't he? So the fact he came past me at the end perhaps goes to show that I was also dead on my feet. And it was one of those runs, actually by now I was thinking that actually my motivation had started to go on a bit, and I was sort of questioning the fact that I got up really early for this. I left about 7:10. There's only about an hour 20 to be fair to get there, but yeah, having got past this guy in the blue top, there's now a long gap to the people ahead of me, and I think shortly after this the leading lady overtook me. So you know, that's not being funny. It exactly pleases me. I think the fact that anybody overtaking me is not great. But here's another guy overtaking me, and he must have been sat on my shoulder. And yeah, you kind of think, look at these people and their style, and thinking, oh Jesus, they're running away from me, and I'm struggling, so I must feel even worse. And the guy in the blue top, they're further in the distance. Another blue top, he seems to be getting ever further away. So unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the footage now, and we'll just about get our 2k split, which a bit demoralisingly has gone out to a 4:05. So I'm now outside a sub 20 pace. So yeah, maybe not the best of runs. Okay, so I've missed the last 3k. Let's have a look on Strava to fill in the gap. So here's the course. Basically, we start just north of Wickham Old Station, and then we head out basically to this bridge here, and then back again. So literally is the most simplest of courses you can possibly imagine. If we look at our lap splits here, I was actually slightly more encouraged when I looked at these. So 3:56, which was slightly net uphill, and then a 4:05, 4:12, and then I think the 4:12 included the dead turn at the halfway, and then at 4:06, 4:03. So actually my second best K was actually the last one, which was, yeah, not too bad. It felt really, really tiring for those last 4 and 5k, but I hang on well, and actually had a good final sprint. If you look at the best splits here, the 100 one, the 200 one, and the 300 one all at the end, although unfortunately the 400 one was at the start. So I think I just got a bit too much into lactate at the start. Let's have a look at the graph here, and you can see it was a nicely rising heart rate. In fact, it jumped a bit there towards the end, didn't it? So yeah, it did show that I was really trying. Maybe that's a slightly false one because it seemed to jump up and then back again. But yeah, the cadence there, single figure cadence for some strange reason. But yeah, not that high to be honest, is it? It's only like 91, 182 in new money, as it were. Just to look at some of the segments here. Hump to Kingsmead Bridge. You remember the little hump that we went over there shortly into the run, about half mile in, looks like. And I've run on this course before here. You can see that I've got the 17th best segment time here, not obviously from the run I did in this part run. So if we look at the full leaderboard here and my runs in it, you can see that my best run here was in 2014 at 5:29 pace, which I'm not sure at the time whether that was actually the course record. Yeah, I had quite a few course records on here, didn't I? I don't think it was quite that one. I think that might have been a new segment, but you can see on this run I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crowns, and I've still got a 5th place one here. So yeah, that's quite encouraging. In days of when I was a bit younger and a bit faster, I think what I used to do in some of these runs, I would literally sort of like run for a bit and then just sort of take off in a segment, as I kind of knew where they are. So a bit like sort of mini fart legs, as it were. So you can see here I did 6:57 pace. but within that I was getting some fairly good paces on here. 5:20 for the half mile, 5:37 for a mile. I think at the moment 5:37 for a mile would be perhaps beyond me in an actual flat out race. So yeah, 2014, so 11 years ago anyway. I think the course record is actually held by some Canny Cross runners here, 4:41 pace. Yeah, you can see Canny Cross with Arlo, Jen Davis. So yeah, it just goes to show how much that helps. You can see some of these paces here. It's crazy. They're doing well under sub 4 pace for the 400 meters at least. If you look at my run written profile, I can actually see the impact of this park run in my overall handicap. So it just missed my top 5 here. You can see the SSS of 1.7, which is significantly higher than say it would be at Pegwell Bay. Obviously Pegwell Bay is a bit short, and like in a proper road race like the Eastleigh 10k, 1.1. British Masters 5k champs also 1.1 at Battersea Park, and then the one I did the other day was a 0.7 at Battersea Park. So you could say that actually that this park run was actually intrinsically better than the 5k I did at Battersea, even though it was slightly slower, and also it was a bit better than the one I did at Upton House, which was a real traily, almost cross-country kind of course. So I was a minute quicker here on a non-tarmac surface. So yeah, definitely not my worst run of late. It's kind of like a middling one, I think. Interestingly, my best run of late was actually at Pegwell Bay, which was a bit short. I think just a day that I felt good. It was a nice warm morning, and as I say, was quite competitive. And that Eastleigh 10k was quite encouraging as well. A good return to form after the Bolton 10k, which is well down the field. In fact, that was pretty much the worst race I've done of late, but I had just been recovering from and yet another out of man flu at the time. So you can see my handicap, it's got to a bottom there of 7. It's gradually rising up again. I need to keep doing the races on a 6.4. It's as low as it's been for a long time, but at least it's not at the very bottom of its course. And it's probably not going to get much better now, is it? But yeah, there we go.
So here we are with Ian. I just managed to stay ahead of him while I was dying on my feet on the end of it. And he says he was catching me fast.
So desperate to stay.
Oh, yeah. So Ian had a bit of an accident a few weeks ago, and his knee has ballooned up like a good one. And good to see him running again. Is that your fastest one since then, or have you?
I think it's a few. The fastest one was yesterday, last week ago in Salisbury. I think
Okay.
a few seconds off that today.
It's a tarmac course like Salisbury, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least it was when we did it. Day of your wedding, as I recall.
It was.
Yeah, yeah. How long ago was that? 2016?
Yes.
Oh, that was 9 years ago.
Way back. To watch live.
Yeah.
Way back. Shall we do this?
When shall we do this? Yeah. Oh, it's a long way down. Bloody hell. Feels like I'm in the loop. Oh.
There we go. Awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm just over here occasionally.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. So your name is? Mark. Oh, okay. Do you live around here?
Yeah, 10-minute drive.
Oh, marvellous. Yeah, yeah. I just saw A3 in Baygate, so sorry. It's like I run quite a lot on this, like when I do marathon training. So you usually start from West Meon though, but yeah. Don't forget this part, but yeah.
Your time today?
Oh, it's 2026. Yeah.
Have you into it? Or you
Well, I think I just a bit get a bit old and slow. I think I already got excuses there. Just rubbish shit. Yeah.
Don't worry, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thank you. On the board.
Thank you. So, park run done, 2026 I think it was. I think I started off at sub 20 pace and then just didn't have it. I think a combination of feeling a bit tired, the trail surface, all sorts of excuses. Really don't know excuses at all. I was just wasn't really good enough. But it's not a race, is it? 31st place, I don't think I've been that low for a while. But yeah, it just goes to show how many good runners there are around at the moment. And just waiting for Ian, if I can find him, I'm down with him. And yeah, so I hope everyone's seeing like and stuff like that. And see you next one then. Bye. So just a bit of old railway stuff. This was clearly the main bridge that took the railway through Wickham over this river here. And there's a sign here that Ian's found. Here we go. I think we're on the station platform about here somewhere. I mean, clearly it must have come across this railway here. And you can almost sort of imagine the platform being on that rail, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to run to Knoll, where Ian's parked, which is about 1.5 miles, I think, something like that.
Yeah, maybe a couple of miles at most.
I'll have to run back, but yeah.
But then you'll
I think I've done, well, I can do Station Close when I get back with the street, can't I? There's probably about 100 of them. Well, Station Close might be alright, actually. There's probably not too many Station Closes, are there? Alright. So yeah, it was your best park run, well, best park run on the trail, should we say? Yeah.
I think so.
Caveat, yeah. What was your time?
2041 or something.
Oh, right, you weren't far behind at all, yeah. Yeah, no.
No, I tried.
It pushed me on, actually. Yeah.
Can't miss you. You need to wear a more anonymous shirt.
I know.
effort to catch you.
Yeah. All right, get my watches done. Right, we're going to do a little run down here, see if we see anything interesting on the way. So there's another bridge here, which you can see looking down onto the Wickham, and then there's the church there in Wickham, and this way. This must have been past the station. Bridge Street, Village Green, Wickham Station, 1903. Wow. This line goes from, or used to go from Alton to Fareham through places like West Meon, where it's a very nice old station. Quite a few tunnels on the way, Privet Tunnels one, isn't it?
The line is famous for the Winston Churchill's.
Oh yeah, Droxford in 1944, Winston Churchill allegedly had a war cabinet there, and they finalised the plans for D-Day. So legend has it. And then I think there was a rail car there. They had an experiment on a little sort of motorised car going on the railway. And I think it was, they were hoping to use that, you know, the old line, but it never came to anything. So I don't think they managed to sell any, did they?
No.
No. Bit of a niche thing. Right.
Right.
Enough of the old railway stuff.